Hello and welcome to Dr. Anima Upadhyay's Chemistry Lab videos. Today's video is about potentiometric titration of strong acid versus strong base using Queen hydron electrode. I got many requests from several viewers to upload a video on this topic. Before I start, I would like to request you to please subscribe to my channel if you have not done it so far, and also to like and share my videos among your friends. Take a pen and paper to write the formulae and equations for better understanding. When we are doing potentiometric titrations, we should never forget that potentiometry is based on Nernst equation, which says that E is equal to E naught plus 0.0591 by N log product by reactant. N is the number of electrons transferred during the reaction. When we are doing potentiometry, we require two electrodes. One is the reference electrode and the other is the indicator electrode. Commonly used reference electrode is saturated calomel electrode. Indicator electrode may vary. In this case, we are taking Queen hydron electrode as the indicator electrode. Queen hydron is an equilibrium mixture of quinone and hydroquinone. And we can write hydroquinone and quinone at equilibrium with the help of this equation. C6H6O2, that is hydroquinone, abbreviated as QH2, in equilibrium with C6H4O2, that is quinone, abbreviated as Q, plus 2H positive plus 2 electrons. This means that the potential at platinum electrode, which is inserted in the acid for electrical contact, the reaction that takes place at platinum electrode can be written in the form of Nernst equation as E is equal to E naught plus 0.0591 by 2 log within bracket Q and within bracket H positive to the power 2 by QH2. This shows that Queen hydron is reversible with respect to hydrogen ions. So instead of taking quinone and hydroquinone separately in equimolar concentrations, we take Queen hydron, which is a mixture of equimolar concentrations of quinone and hydroquinone. And this Queen hydron, a pinch of it is taken and added to the acid. It is never added to the base, because if it is added to the base, the equilibrium will be disturbed. Queen hydron is a weak acid, and when it is added to the acid below pH 7, the concentration of hydroquinone is almost equal to the concentration of quinone, because hydroquinone is negligibly ionized, because it remains almost unionized. So we can write Q by QH2 is equal to unity. And in this case, the Nernst equation will be written as E is equal to E naught plus 0.0591 log H. And log H is equal to pH. And E naught for Queen hydron electrode is 0.6996 volts. So the Nernst equation now can be written as E is equal to 0.6996 minus 0.0591 pH. This shows that the electrode potential of Queen hydron electrode depends upon the pH. And this is the reason we can employ Queen hydron electrode as indicator electrode for potentiometric acid base titrations. Now a question arises. Why don't we use glass electrode or standard hydrogen electrode as indicator electrodes in this titration? The answer is very simple, because the construction of quinhydrone electrode is very simple and also it is very cheap. We have to just take a pinch of quinhydrone and add it to the acid solution in which we will insert a platinum electrode for the electrical contact, and it will serve as the indicator electrode. Whereas the standard hydrogen electrode and glass electrode are difficult to construct and they are also expensive and difficult to maintain. So we prefer quinhydrone electrode over these two electrodes. Now coming to the second part of this lecture, that is how to proceed for titration. I have already demonstrated potentiometric titration in one of my previous videos. I'll give the link of that video in the description box so that you can watch the video, as the technique is the same. You will prepare a standard solution of sodium hydroxide 0.5 normal, because here you are going to determine the strength of the given acid, and this acid is hydrochloric acid. As we all know that when acid reacts with base, it is the hydrogen ions and the hydroxyl ions that reacts and form water, and it is a neutralization reaction. So it is pH dependent, and this is the reason we want an electrode which is reversible with respect to hydrogen ions, and this condition is satisfied by the quinhydrone electrode. The cell structure is written as writing the anode first, that is SCE, saturated calomel electrode, a small vertical line, then quinhydrone electrode, within bracket you write acid solution, again a small vertical line, and then platinum electrode for electrical contact. Now draw an observation table on the sheet of paper that you have taken. You draw 7 columns, 20 rows, because we are going to add 10 ml sodium hydroxide from the burette with 0.5 ml installments each time, so 20 rows, and the columns you write serial number, volume of sodium hydroxide added, potential recorded, capital E, delta E, delta V, delta E by delta V, delta square E by delta V square, that is the second derivative. Now take the standard solution of sodium hydroxide 0.5 normal in the burette up to the 0 mark, and take 25 ml hydrochloric acid in the beaker, to which add a pinch of quinhydrone, insert platinum electrode and saturated calomel electrode, and also place a stirrer for stirring the solution. Take the first reading without adding sodium hydroxide from the burette, that is 0 ml addition. Now start adding 0.5 ml, stir the solution, take the reading. It will give a change in the potential. The potential will increase and it will keep on increasing. First it will increase slowly, then there will be a sharp increase, that is a jump, a leap due to the inflection point, and then again there will be a slow increase. After you have taken 20 readings, that is you have added 10 ml sodium hydroxide from the burette to the acid taken in the beaker, calculate delta E and delta V by subtracting the upper value from the lower value. Calculate delta E by delta V and also delta square E by delta V square. Now plot the graphs. First graph is the standard graph, that is take potential on the y-axis and volume of sodium hydroxide on the x-axis and draw the curve. You will get the curve which is like the English letter S. but here you will not be able to get the exact equivalence point. The end point is located on the curve where there is a sharp rise. To get the exact equivalence point, you have to plot a differential curve or the first derivative curve where delta E by delta V is taken on the y-axis and volume of sodium hydroxide on the x-axis. You will get a peak and the shape of the curve will be like inverted V. Join the peak with the x-axis by dropping a perpendicular using a straight line. You'll get the exact equivalence point. Sometimes examiners ask to draw a second derivative curve. For that, you have already calculated delta square E by delta V square. Take it on the y-axis and volume of sodium hydroxide on the x-axis. The second derivative endpoint is at 0 where delta E by delta V is maximum. Once you have calculated the equivalence point from the graph, substitute it in the formula N1V1 is equal to N2V2. Now you have to calculate the normality of HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. Normality of NaOH is known to you, 0.5 normal. Volume of NaOH you will get from the graph. Volume of hydrochloric acid taken is 25 ml. You will calculate the normality of HCl. Multiplied with the equivalent weight of HCl, you will get the strength of HCl in grams per liter. If you are asked to determine the strength of given base, the procedure will be same. Only thing, here you will calculate the normality of the base by standard acid and you will multiply the equivalent weight of the base with the normality of the base that you have calculated and you will get the strength in grams per liter. I hope I have explained the experiment in detail. If still you have any doubts or questions, please leave them in the comment box. Keep watching my videos.